So breaking right now, we are just getting some information on this. Our affiliate WPTV on the rollover crash that Tiger Woods was involved in on Jupiter Island in Florida. He was obviously traveling down this road. You can see the car that's on its side in front of where these officials are standing. And we believe you're looking at the back of the car from what we can tell in this image. So the driver's side would be on the lower side of where this car is on its side. It happened around 2 o'clock Eastern, and the Martin County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating this. Obviously, Tiger Woods was in a horrific crash that almost ended his career in 2021 in Los Angeles when he was on his way to play in a tournament in Los Angeles in the morning. And he managed to recover and return to the game. And has been playing, but also President Trump recently said yesterday, I believe, that he had spoken to Tiger Woods and he had decided not to play in the Masters, in the upcoming Masters. Also worth mentioning, Tiger Woods has been dating for some time Vanessa Trump, who was President Trump's daughter-in-law, was married to his oldest son, Don Jr. Let's bring in OutKick founder Clay Travis. He's also an attorney. Clay, your thoughts as we get some information? I know we're going to get a bigger update in just a few minutes.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern, Martha. Certainly we are hoping for the best for Tiger Woods. And I think for anybody out there who is a golf fan or a sports fan or even just recalls that devastating car crash that he had in 2021, which was utterly devastating to him in terms of his athletic career and very, very serious in terms of his overall health, leave aside the athleticism. And it was, if I remember correctly, back in 2021, he was driving at a high rate of speed, trying to make it to a golf course event in the LA area when he had that awful accident. Now, looking at this picture right now that is up on the left side of the screen, two-lane road, doesn't look like the speed could have necessarily been that high, and the damage to the vehicle doesn't appear to have been extensive relative to what happened to him back in 2021. So those would all be positive aspects of this story. Again, he just played on the TGL, which is an indoor sort of golf-related event recently this week, which was one of the first times that he had been back in the public eye. As you mentioned, President Trump has said he wasn't going to play at the Masters, but the 5 p.m. press conference will hopefully shed some light on this. But it's a little bit surprising that Tiger or his representation have not posted anything so far about his status, and we hope he's going to be okay. But that's a little bit surprising just because, again, the pictures are all out there, and this happened at 2 p.m., so we're coming up on about, an hour and a half since that incident happened. You would think there would be some posting coming from accounts of his or representation of his.
Yeah, we're coming up on almost 2 hours since this happened. It's very hard to tell from this one image whether or not this was a very serious accident in terms of injuries that might have been sustained. We also don't know, looking at this picture, Clay, whether or not there were other vehicles that were involved in this. Now We're getting an aerial shot. So, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. That image that you just saw on your screen was from 2021. Okay, so we have
that was the
accident
for Martha. That was the situation where he was driving at a high rate of speed and turned over several different times. Mm-hmm. This image right here that we have on the screen, again, he's still on the roadway, assuming it's accurate, and quite a lot different than what happened in the LA related incident.
And it looks like it's a beautiful day. It's the middle of the afternoon. So all of those things we hope work in his favor and anyone else who might have been involved in this. But we're waiting for an update on the condition of Tiger Woods after this accident where his car rolled on its side in Jupiter, Florida. Clay, stay with us if you will. Correspondent Alexis McAdams is making phone calls to the authorities on the scene, and she joins us now. Hi, Alexis.
Hi, Martha. Yeah, I think it's so shocking, too, right, when you see that picture of what happened there in the middle of Florida. We know he was involved in a rollover crash on Jupiter Island this afternoon. Deputies say it happened just around 2 o'clock, and it was near Beach Road in Martin County. So the photo, though, shows the vehicle is on its side. You can see it's just that still photo, so we're hoping to get more from the scene. But investigators got there very quickly, they were told, and they're trying to figure this all out. It also looks like it's in the middle of a residential neighborhood, so I'm sure people were right around. You can see in this picture, if you would walk up to the scene and work the scene as a reporter, you'd see all these houses, and maybe they have some cameras or Ring doorbell cameras that they can pull out and look exactly what happened, were there other cars on the road, and what all played out. So back in 2021, this is what we were talking about before. Tiger Woods was involved in that bad crash. He was left seriously injured in a rollover SUV crash in California. And he just came back to competitive action at the TGL finals this week. So there's been a lot of speculation about whether or not he was going to try to tee up and be at the Masters in Augusta. But President Trump was on the 5 last night, and he talked about Tiger Woods, saying that he will not be playing in the 2026 Masters, adding that Tiger is expected to be there in the crowd. But now we're going to have to see exactly what injuries are playing out here and what people know about it, Martha.
All right, Alexis, thank you very much. If history's any guide, we'll be seeing a lot more photos very shortly.
Right.
As you say, he's in the middle of a residential airport neighborhood, I should say. So we're likely to get some more information in the coming moments.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.